Hot news. Hey everybody, welcome. Thursday. Let's talk about hot news after I tell you to buy our stuff because we got sexy t-shirts. Look at this hot floppy shirt. It's so hot it might as well be a hard drive. Buy them at the link in the video description. This giraffe wants one. Too bad we don't make it in giraffe size. How do you cover the neck? Still haven't figured that one out. We need to talk to our merch printers about that. We also need to talk to Nvidia about how many graphics cards it's trying to release, because why? We talked yesterday or 2 days ago about how the GTX 1660 Super is coming in. It's basically 1660 Ti level performance for what was anticipated to be a few dollars less. Well, now we have the release date and the pricing on that leaked, but with that, there also comes the information that there's gonna be a GTX 1650 Super. Why? It's supposed to be coming in November. This will probably be GTX 1660 level performance, and instead of using GDDR5, it's going to use GDDR6. Cool. The reasoning from what I can gather is that they're trying to compete better with AMD's RX 5500 that's supposed to be launching, which has been quoted by AMD to be 37% faster than the GTX 1650. So if they can get 1650 Super to be slightly faster at the same price point, AMD doesn't have as big of an advantage in the low end. But even then, the RX 5500 is not really where they need to be competing, because the RX 570 and RX 580 are still good. What is happening here? November 22nd is when we're supposed to get the 1650 Super. We're supposed to get the 1660 Super on October 29th, so in less than a week, and coming in at $229, basically completely replacing the GTX 1660 at the same price point, which makes the 1660 Ti completely obsolete, considering it's $70 more for probably what's going to be about 5 to 10% performance, which you could probably get by overclocking the Super. At least based on paper, this is completely undermining a segment that Nvidia has. I don't understand. And it has better GDDR6 coming in at 14 gigabits per second memory, whereas the 1660 Ti has 12. So the Super's slightly better in some ways, slightly worse in others, but then is going to have a $50 price advantage. What are you doing, Nvidia? Who are you competing with? I don't understand any of this. But what I do understand is this next move that Nvidia is apparently going to be making with the 1660 Super launch, and that is bringing Reshade support to its GeForce experience through their what's known as Nvidia Freestyle technologies, which is apparently part of GeForce experience. It's lumped together with Ansel and all of the other features that you get with GeForce. I know about Ansel. I don't remember ever hearing about Freestyle, but that's how you're going to be able to use Reshade mods, which allow you to actually have a whole bunch of different things, like bringing ambient occlusion to games that don't support it, or even bringing ray tracing to games that don't support it. That's actually how we got ray tracing to run on The Witcher 3, which, in case you missed that video, you can check it out right up there. We use that via Reshade, and now it's going to be built in to NVIDIA's GeForce experience, which is kind of cool. What's not kind of cool is this article that I read, and I just want to talk about it because Minecraft ray tracing, it's a thing, NVIDIA's bringing it out, but this Tom's Hardware article starts with a headline that I just don't understand, which is Minecraft with ray tracing will likely require RTX 2060 or better for 1080p at 60 FPS. Yes, the article laments the fact that that's the starting place for ray tracing. But I don't understand, it's an RTX game. The RTX 2060 is the entry-level RTX card. Why is this an issue? Why is this surprising anybody? This is a society, okay? Speaking of society, ASRock has unveiled that they're going to be launching 3 brand new that segue didn't work, X299 boards. You got the X299 Creator, Steel Legend, and Tai Chi CLX. They're going to be up freshes for the upcoming Cascade Lake X launch that will use that. And then, in case you have Ryzen, guess what, my friends? You can get extra performance just by updating the BIOS in the next couple of days to the new AGESA update, which, according to current testing out on the interwebs, you can get an extra 2% performance thanks to better boost clocking across your chips. 2% for free. Don't tell AMD that they never did anything for you, okay? They did a lot for you lately. But you know what Google has done? They've achieved quantum supremacy! That's what they said. They released a publication talking about how they've achieved quantum supremacy with their 54-qubit quantum processor, achieving the ability to solve a problem that a supercomputer could never do. They said that it would take the world's best supercomputer right now 10,000 years to solve what cost them just 200 seconds. It's fantastic. It's amazing. Google's so great at quantum stuff. Their quantum supremacy is so delicious. Except for what IBM then came out with a counter statement saying, that takes our computer like 2 days, not 10,000 years. What the hell are you talking about? Because apparently the way that Google ran the test was apparently only using RAM and not storage, which slowed the test down and would have taken 10,000 years. But IBM came out and said, if you just used fast storage, it takes you 2.5 days. Yes, getting it done in a couple of minutes is great, but this is not solving a problem that a supercomputer can't solve. It's just speeding things up, which is not exactly quantum supremacy. It's just more like quantum betterness, which is not as catchy, admittedly. But you know what's betterness for Tesla? Oh yes, my friends, yesterday we talked about how you could get a Tesla for $100, non-refundable deposit. Well, they also came out yesterday talking about how they're making money. In what was supposed to be a down quarter for them, analysts were expecting a net loss for the company. They came out and were like, we made profit. We made tons of profit. They were supposed to lose 46 cents per share. They ended up earning 80 cents per share, which sent the stock up over 20%. A lot of this is due to many different factors. Primarily, it has nothing to do with revenue because their revenue is down quarter on quarter. But according to Elon Musk, it's due to the fact that they cut their operating costs, which allowed them to actually make more money. And they've also reported that they shipped about 97,000 Teslas in the third quarter, which was shy of their 100,000 unit goal. But analysts were like, oh, that sucks. We're not gonna, let's tank their shares. But then it came out that they actually made money on not hitting their targets, which is fantastic. And that's on top of several other announcements that came with this earnings call, which is that Elon Musk is predicting that Tesla Energy is going to be a bigger business than just the EV side of things, talking about Tesla Solar and making sure that they're implementing battery backups and battery packs and Tesla roofing and all that kind of stuff. And on top of that, he also said that they're going to be launching the third iteration of its solar roof tile this week. He mentioned that yesterday in the earnings call, and then apparently this afternoon is when they're going to unveil the third iteration. But speaking of third iteration, that's what the Model 3 is technically on the latest. It's technically the fourth iteration. I ruined that because you got the Roadster, the S, the X, and then the 3. Anyways, Elon Musk said that the S and the X are really just being produced for sentimental reasons right now because they're not actually part of the core business plan going forward. He said that the S and the X are for a niche market, which makes sense. $100,000 cars aren't exactly mass market. The Tesla Model 3 is more or less what that is, but the S and the X are declining in their production quarter on quarter and year on year as more people realize that they can get more advanced technology in the Model 3, even if they can't get the super fast speeds or the carrying capacity of what the Tesla Model S and X have. But Elon Musk also said that full self-driving should at least be in some sort of early access mode by the end of the year. And in case you're not familiar with this, Tesla has implemented into its cars full self-driving technology with its sensors and all of that, but it hasn't necessarily been able to drive you everywhere at this point. It mainly is used for highway driving, keeping you in traffic, switching lanes for you, getting you on and off ramps, trying to go to the place where you need to go. But then when it comes to city driving, you have to drive like a normal human, and it's kind of lame and sad. Well, apparently he said it's going to be tight, and he's not exactly sure that it's going to happen, but he says that they're on track to roll out an early access program for full self-driving by the end of the year, which Tesla owners would have to opt into to make sure that they're actually using it. Which brings us to the future, my friends. Cars driving themselves. Currently, if you buy a Tesla, it's a $6,000 upgrade in order to get the full self-driving package. Starting November 1st, it's going to be $7,000 because Tesla said that they were going to increase the price due to the enhanced summon, smart summon feature that they have on their vehicles, which allows it to pull out of a parking space and come find you wherever you are, instead of the regular summon feature, which just pulls it in and out straight line. So they said that they were going to increase then, and then I can imagine that when full self-driving is actually rolled out, they're going to increase the price even more. So if you want it, you should buy a Tesla right now for the cheapest full self-driving price, and you can use our referral code in the video description to get 1,000 free supercharging miles. You want that. But speaking of supercharging, people are going to be supercharging in China, because Tesla talked about how they are basically complete with their gigafactory that's going down in China, and that they're currently doing test runs to actually start Model 3 production, and that once it's up and running, they can produce over 150,000 Tesla Model 3s per year. This is all, of course, presuming Elon Musk doesn't tweet out a meme about China's president being Winnie the Pooh, which I'm doing right now, so we're probably going to get banned in China for this video. But let's move on to the next thing, which is Intel trying to ban people from things, which is they're filing, sorry, it's a bad transition. Intel's filing an antitrust lawsuit against a SoftBank-owned tech firm, which Intel is accusing them of being patent trolls and basically sitting on a pile of patents so that they can sue other people, including Intel. And Intel says, no, 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 we don't like that. We countersue you, and we'll see you in court. We have billions of dollars to just fight this forever, so come at me, bro. Which is what Netflix is saying, but then maybe they should stop. They should stop. Because Verizon has announced that they're going to be offering Disney Plus for free for 12 months to certain owners of its services. That includes its wireless unlimited plan on the cell phones, Fios home internet, and 5G home internet users will get Disney Plus for free. And then that is also on top of the announcement that Bob Iger made yesterday, talking about how there are some classics that kind of revolve on Disney's library. They call it the vault, where you can only buy certain movies at certain times, and was asked about how that would be handled on the streaming service. And he said that they would have the similar approach. You could only watch certain movies at certain periods of time, but if you download them, and as long as you remain a Disney Plus subscriber, you can watch them as long as you would like, and they're not going to remove it from your downloaded library. So Disney Plus having a lot of powerhouse behind it, including the full plethora of previous Disney titles. Speaking of plethora, that's what Sprint is saying they're going to have for their 5G availability. They're saying that it now reaches up to 16 million people. This is an increase from 11 million people that it was previously, offering 5G in more cities across the country. I don't know why I didn't put the 5G article next, but I'm going to talk about the Pixel 4, which it's been unveiled that its smooth display, 90 hertz display, only works on certain conditions, only if you're above 75% brightness on your phone, or if you have enough ambient light. So you can go below 75% brightness, but only if you have enough surrounding ambient light, like if you're outside. So there's a way to get around it. There is a forced 90 hertz option, but it does appear that you're actually running at 60 hertz more often than not on the Pixel 4, and Google said that this is to preserve battery life, which, considering they gave it a garbage battery in the first place, it kind of makes sense. However, they did say that they are going to be rolling out an update to this software that would allow them to actually have more 90 hertz scenarios. Fantastic. And apparently, with certain orders from the Pixel 4, people are getting cereal. And in case you want to know what it's like, 9to5 Google did a review on the Pixel cereal, so you can check that out. And then we also reported in previous hot news about how Google's Face Unlock unlocks no matter if you're alive, dead, sleeping, awake, don't matter. Well, this is also was an issue with a company known by Samsung with their fingerprint reader, which with certain third-party screen protectors would allow any fingerprint to unlock the device. Yes, my friends, Google's not the only one with insecure methods of biometrics. However, Samsung has announced that they've begun testing the rollout of a fix for this, which would require you to re-register your fingerprint, especially if you're using one of these third-party screen protectors, but now it should be fine. Cool. And then one of the other biggest disappointments of the phone news industry in the last couple of, I guess, weeks was that the OnePlus 7T Pro was not going to be coming to the United States whatsoever. However, they just announced an exclusive partnership with T-Mobile to bring the OnePlus 7T Pro McLaren Edition 5G to T-Mobile exclusively in the United States. There's no talk about release date or pricing at this time, probably going to be in the $1,000 to $1,100 region for the fact that it's 5G and the McLaren edition of the OnePlus 7T Pro. But in case you want that, it can now be available, and you can stop crying about not getting the 7T Pro. 7T, not 70. It's hard to say. It's also hard to continue this episode of Hot News because I'm going to end it there. Why don't you say goodbye to the giraffe while he looks at my merch, and you go buy the merch. Hot Floppy, Press F to pay respects. Mobo Diamond. We have shipment coming in so that I can wear more than this. It just takes a while to get t-shirts printed here in South Africa because for some reason nobody wants your money around here. I'm out. Freshes for the upcoming Cascade Lake X launch that we'll use that. So in case, or no, yes, sorry, brain. Cut that out, Catlin.